So in this video, I'm going to be going over the top 10 highest earning pros along with their settings in Valorant. At the time of recording this video, Valorant Champions 2022 should be taking place in about 1 month, so this entire list could look very different depending on which team wins. So if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see me make an updated version, make sure you drop a like on the video. Getting right into the number 10 spot, we have Starxo, who's currently sitting at 107k earned. Most of his earnings actually come from winning Valorant Champions 2021 with Team Ascend in Europe. He's currently using 0.485 on 800 DPI, which is by far the highest sensitivity on this list. I myself really love high sense since I play a very similar sensitivity on one of the lightest mice out there, the Starlight 12, which only weighs about 40 or 50 grams. Starxo is also using a super stretch resolution at 1280 by 1024. Personally, I never really liked the way that stretch resolutions looked, especially when they're super stretched, but they do give it a nice placebo effect and making the enemy look a little bit bigger. Moving on to number 9, we have another European pro player that's a lot more well known, who is of course CNed himself, who has 108k to his name. Arguably one of the best players from EU, he's currently using 0.32 on 800 DPI and a scope sensitivity of 1, which is a pretty normal sensitivity for a pro player compared to what Starxo was using. He was also one of the winners of VCT 2021 with Team Ascend, and that's something that you will notice a lot. More than half of the players on this list were winners of Valorant Champions 2021. Just like a lot of pro players, he's also using native res, which is 1920 by 1080. Finally, getting into our first NA pro, we have Sentinels Dapper at the number 8 spot. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Sentinels barely lose to the guard and LCQ a couple of days ago. And to be honest, it's definitely a big blow for Sentinels as they were last year's VCT champions. Nonetheless, Dapper currently has 113k earned on Valorant and is our first pro player on 400 DPI. He's currently on 0.66 400 DPI, which is actually really similar to CNed Sens. Dapper is also playing at 1920 by 1080, which is definitely my favorite resolution. No surprise, the next member on this list is another player for Sentinels, Sick, and he only has $100 more in earnings compared to Dapper since they play on the same team and basically won all the same tournaments together. At the time of making this video, Sick isn't actually playing on the pro team right now. He's basically just benched for Sentinels. He currently plays 0.235 on 800 DPI, and by the looks of it, a lot more pro players on this list, apart from the first one, all like to play around a medium to low sense, which is just generally more popular in Valorant. Sick is also playing at the default res 1920 by 1080. Up next is Zombs, and not only is he also in Zen, but he's also benched for Sentinels. It's kind of weird to think about the fact that 2 of the top 10 earners in all of Valorant are basically not even playing professionally right now. With VCT Finals 2022 coming up very soon, like I said in the intro, I would not be surprised at all if the top 10 players look completely different soon. Trust me, I'm a Sentinels fan, but by the looks of it, a lot of their players are not going to hold their ranks in total earnings. Getting back on track, Zombs is on 400 DPI 0.54. His scoped sensitivity is also at 1.0, which is what a lot of other Valorant players also use and just Valorant players in general use. Just like the other guys in Sentinels, he's using the exact same resolution of 1920 by 1080, and I don't know if it's because all of them do content and want their game to look nicer for the viewer, or if it's just simply preference. I promise this is the very last player from Sentinels that I'm going to be covering, but coming in at 114k in earnings, we have ShahZaM, who is probably my favorite player from Sentinels. Just like Dapper, he's actually still playing on the pro team, and he's using 0.53 400 DPI, a polling rate of 1000 Hz, and 1 for his scoped multiplier. No surprise, just like the other guys in Sentinels, he's also using a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Finally, moving on from Sentinels, we have Marved, and he currently has 118k in earnings. He's been performing really well this year with Optic Gaming, and they actually already qualified for VCT Finals 2022 by winning Stage 1 Masters. This means Marved could easily have a higher gap in earnings compared to the other players down below in this list if his team actually wins finals, so huge props to them. For sensitivity, Marved is currently playing on 800 DPI 0.306, and as many of you guys have surely already noticed, all the pros on this list are both on 400 and 800 DPI. He's also playing native resolution, which seems to be very popular for pro players. Basically, for the rest of this video, I'm literally just going to be naming off Optic Gaming's entire roster because they all got a huge bag from winning Stage 1 Masters 2022. Now, to take the number 3 spot, we have Optic FNS. This guy's an absolute demon just like everyone else in Optic Gaming, and he's currently sitting at $120,000 in earnings, which is just insane. He's playing at 0.55, 400 DPI, which is basically around the sensitivity that all the other pro players in this video have been playing on. Surprisingly, he's actually playing at 1024 by 768, so the second player on this list with a stretch resolution. When the game is so stretched like this in any game, it definitely makes it feel a whole lot more responsive since there's a whole lot less pixels. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, my preference, it kind of looks bad, but hey, at the end of the day, it's completely preference to what feels comfortable to the player. Coming up on second place on this list, of course, we have another Optic Gaming member, Optic Victor. He used to be on Team Envy, who he actually played really good for and earned almost 48k playing with them. Currently, he has a cool 122k in earnings, and he's using 0.283 at 800 DPI, which is around the exact same sensitivity that Optic FNS was using. Just like a lot of the guys in Sentinels, he's currently playing at 1920 by 1080. For the player with the most earnings in all of Valorant, we have Optic Crashies. Basically, everyone in this video were just people who won VCT stages or the finals itself. It makes sense because there's a lot of money on the line in VCT. Nonetheless, like I mentioned earlier, Optic is literally insane and definitely has a huge chance at winning VCT 2022 finals. And to be honest, they're definitely my pick to win it all. Anyways, Optic Crashies has 123k in earnings, so only 1k more than second place, but he plays a very similar sensitivity to everyone else, which is 0.23 at 800 DPI. No surprise, just like a lot of the people in this video, he's also using native resolution. Those are the top 10 pros with the highest amount of earnings from Valorant, and before I end this video, I just want to say that sensitivity and resolution are completely based on personal preference. This video was mainly made just to show you guys the most popular sensitivity and resolutions that pros use, and by the looks of it, 1920 by 1080 was the most popular resolution. And most pros opted for around a medium to low sensitivity. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this entire list could look completely different after VCT Finals 2022, so I'll probably make an updated version in around a month or so. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys drop a sub with Notis on so you don't miss the next video and other commentary videos just like this one. If you want to ask me any questions live, I stream on Twitch, which is the first link in the description. Anyways, peace.